You heard me right. It's Saturday Night's All Right, not all tight. We like to loosen tongues on this show and expect some convo banter. This is the second edition of our podcast for Elton John Radio. On this show, we want to, connect with everyone on the Elton John storyboard, and that includes, of course, the fans, without whom there would be no Elton John. Today's guest is someone whom I've known for about 20 years, and he is a singer, songwriter, whose new album is out on the 1st of November. And he's had some very interesting string arrangements and mixing on this particular album, handled by some absolute giants in Elton John's world. Now, he joins us from the side of the highway somewhere in the United States. Well, now, can we have a very warm and genuine applause, please, for our guest today? It is David Scott Crawford. Okay, fantastic stuff. David, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm having a great time.
Fabulous. It's great to have you on the show, David. And it is about 20 years, isn't it, since we met? Do you remember how we met?
Yes, I was looking at a bulletin board at the new studio suite in Reading that was dedicated to Gus Dudgeon at some of the pictures. And I think you and I were commenting on some of them. And then you asked me a few questions, I think, about a project I was working on at the time, my album Belle Epoque. And so we met in Reading.
All those
in
years
England.
Ago. In England,
yes,
absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. And who better than in the memory of the one and only Gus Dudgeon as well. Now that was indeed 20 years ago, and I've sort of followed you on and off over those years, but we haven't really spoken at all, have we, in that time? So it's really a great pleasure to have you on the show like this. And I guess you've had a very eventful 20 years since we met.
I have a 22-year-old son who was about two years old at the time. He's a wonderful young man. We still get along after all this time. And it's been very eventful. Yes, I released an album in 2006, and I've got a new album coming out. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me to do this, George.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. So let's get to the music. But before we do, I guess we've got to ask you this. You've been an Elton John fan for a fair few years. What song got you hooked, and has Elton's style of music influenced your own songwriting?
The song that got me hooked was I was riding in New Orleans in the backseat of a car with my family, and the radio was on, and there was this song called Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, 1974, driving past the Superdome in New Orleans, and I was like, who is that? And I had already heard of Elton John when I was living in Libya, Tripoli, Libya. Around age 9 or 10, there was a girl that did a cover of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting on a piano with two other singers, which doesn't really cut it. Let's face it. You need Davy Johnson in there to make that one rock. But so I had heard of Elton, but the song that hooked me was Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Shortly after that, we moved to England, and this very same girl was a boarder at our house while she was attending school. This was in Carshalton Beaches. We lived in Carshalton
We'd love
Beaches.
to offer you the full interview, and you can hear it all. Visit Elton John World or go straight to our launch pad at radioeltonjohn.world. Radio Elton John now reaches 90 countries, and the list is growing. We welcome Elton fans from the USA, Europe, Australia, Brazil, Africa, South Korea, India, Ukraine, Thailand, Egypt, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and many others. Elton's world is a big world. Subscribe today from eltonjohn.world.